Come on.
Everybody.
Hey guys, so we are here for today's episode of the Epic Hour, and this is such an exciting one.
It is. It's huge. It is a big deal for not only us, but how far we've come, but how well the team is pulled together to get us there. There's all these parts and moving things that so many people don't see or get to know about us, but you know, it's one of those things that we're super excited to kind of give a little more background on.
Totally. So of course, we always want to encourage you guys to be as interactive as possible. We would love your questions, love your comments. We've got our team here and the team's growing. It's actually doubled in the last month, which is exciting for our marketing team. And yeah, we'll introduce our new team members here later. And yeah, we just want to answer your questions. So anything you guys want to put out there, let us know. And in the meantime, as always, we'll just keep chatting
Till that happens. Yeah. So we hit, for those that don't know, we hit $100 million in real estate control.
Woo! Residential. That's right? All residential.
That's like little tiny houses. Like get those little red Monopoly houses and line them up. A lot of them. Are they the little red ones?
They're green.
Green.
And then
sorry.
you got the red hotel.
Whatever.
Yeah. I was going to say the little green.
There's a house, and then they're green apparently. Sorry. It's been a while since I played.
Well, you've been playing it in real life.
Yeah, right?
Who needs a board
I
game?
don't need a board game.
So at the end of the day, traditionally when people are playing Monopoly, what's the goal? You get as many little tiny greenhouses as you can, then you elevate and you trade up to go into getting hotels, right? Why? Because it's less management. Now all your assets are worth more. They're in one space, all that kind of stuff. We decided when we started the company to go a completely different direction. We decided that we were just going to stick with as many little greenhouses as we possibly could. Why did we do that?
It was our niche. We're good at it. And, you know, when you focus, which was incredibly hard for us.
Still is.
Yeah.
On the daily.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, pain point, focus. Anyways, we realized that if we focused on residential houses with the programs that we have created, that we could get to $1 billion of residential real estate control with the help of our investors and our teams very quickly. And we're proving that time and month and over again, right? Time after time, month after month. And super excited because it's going to be, you know, I can't wait. Like this is a huge deal. I don't know how many other people that are in this industry that have reached that, you know?
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting too because
in residential housing.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's some people that have hit it in commercial because it's a lot easier to go spend $5 million on a building than it is to go and acquire that many assets individually by having those little greenhouses and then building it out and compounding. So for us, again, it's just efficiency. And right now we're buying about a house a day. And that's before we've even started the new country. And that's within 2 cities. So that's pretty interesting because I think a lot of people don't even know that. And I think we bought 8 properties this week, refinanced 1, and we sold 2 hassle-free landlord houses. So just this week alone, we pushed through 11 real estate investing transactions. That's a normal week for us. And it's really interesting. And we've actually had this happen in the last little while where people will call us up. And again, Alisa and myself are very accessible. But when people come to us, they need to understand that we need high level conversations and really high level interaction. So if people want to bring bullshit or stuff that just isn't really high level priority, we just don't have time for it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people lose sight on the fact that we are literally controlling and running a multi-million-dollar real estate investing business because we just do so much and we are very much in the hub of the business and in all the things. But it's really, really entertaining when you actually step back and look at it. And again, I don't like comparing myself or us against other people because we're all in our own races. And, you know, my goal is to be the best version of myself that I can be, just be better than I was yesterday, right? We're all growing. We're all on our own journeys. So I don't compare. But at the end of the day, when you look at our busy versus a traditional person's busy, we do more than in 1 week than some people would do an entire month, if not a year of their lives, which again, we're all in our own lanes.
Yeah.
But it's just when you put it into perspective, it's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
Kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind if you guys end up reaching out to Alisa or myself, that if we can't get to you right now, it's not that we are not keeping you a priority. We got a lot of shit going on. Okay, so I've noticed that, you know, some people have been like, oh, well, this slipped through the cracks, or this, or this, or this. Oh, pardon me, while you were doing whatever it is you were doing for this last month or two, you know, I went through an assistant. I had to have Bailey hire and train a new assistant. I have had, you know, we had a death for one of our supervisors, so that trickled into a whole other thing in all of our business, the organization. There's like been hirings and firings, whatever, rearranging. How many people did you guys hire in the last 2 weeks? Like, it's crazy.
There are 5 people in an onboarding as we speak right now in our board room.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not even including the people that have already been onboarded over the last week. So there's just so many things happening. I'm not complaining.
No.
I'm just saying these are facts.
Yeah.
This is what it is. And this is just part and parcel of what we signed up for.
Yeah.
So
absolutely,
bear with us if you are, again, feeling like we're not getting back to you in a timely manner.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
It's true. And again, I think that this is going to affect a lot of people over the next 12 months. The amount of change you're going to see in Epic Alliance, Inc., and how those things shift are going to be huge.
Yep.
It's going to get to a place where it's going to get harder to get a hold of us, not because Rochelle and I have reached a new snob level, but Rochelle and I have reached a level of, hey, my priorities, I need to deal with HLAs, high level activities. Thank you. And the reason for that is that's how we're going to get to $1 billion of growth. That's how we're going to get to 200 employees. That's how we're going to get to 10 more cities, right? Not me. And again, I'm not demeaning anybody, but this is also goes back to that focus. My focus, Rochelle's focus, is here, right? It's so high you can't even see it on the screen. Okay, and that's the truth, right? How did we get to $100 million in residential real estate control? Our goals, our aspirations were here. Okay, here, and it's just true. Like, I go back all the time. There's a saying that I have in my office posted by Elon Musk, and it's basically, how do you achieve the abnormal or the unobtainable? Basically, how he sums it up is, go tell everybody something that should take most people 10 years to achieve. You're going to do it in 6 months. You won't achieve it in 6 months, but look at what you will achieve. We'll probably take and make that whatever you took and make it in 2 years instead of 10.
It's just shrinking timelines.
It's putting that on you to make it a thing. And so it is, we're not going to lie. Do we know exactly how that looks? No, but we know that we're reaching that place where people just picking up the phone and randomly talking to us, it's just going to eventually not be one of those things. It's going to be, you're going to have to go through an appointment. You're going to have to go through the proper channels. You're going to have to go through our team to get to us. And there's reasons for that. Like we said, we have a vision of $1 billion of real estate control. Okay. There are so many people, like, we get people that reach out to us for the most bizarre, like, I tell you, I have no issues with MLMs, none whatsoever. We've been partaking in some, we still are, but I bet you on the weekly, I get reached out to by people wanting me to try products or be part of something. I bet you, I don't know, 6 times in a week, at least. Like, and again, kudos to them, but it's that kind of thing where I'm like, I just don't have the time to put into that when I am running.
But it's just 2 hours. It's just 2 hours a week.
I
That's
know.
all it is.
I
That's
know.
all it is.
And but when I have 80 plus people that are depending on me to make sure that their systems are running correctly, to make sure that they're going to get a paycheck, to make sure, and then Rochelle on the other side has the investors making sure everything's running. There is no 2 hours to invest in that next business right now.
Yeah. And it's interesting because there's so many people, like, the's lots of distractions. I mean, Alisa and myself, like, we probably come up with at least a new business opportunity a week.
God.
And then it's like, okay,
I can't even have a shower or go to the bathroom without going, oh, that'd be great. You know, like, and then I'm like, no, write it down because you can't do it right now. Yeah. So if I can't even work on the stuff that's going to make my heart and my soul and all the things lighten up, how much do you think I can honestly give to yours? Mm-hmm.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
And again, it's just being transparent, and it is what it is. But it's kind of cool because there's actually some byproduct side things that have come up
100%.
that we've been working on that actually fit within what we're doing, even though it's not guiding us and pushing us towards the actual goal of our $1 billion worth of residential real estate under our control. But there are things that are happening that are basically helping with that journey, but it's not distracting. It's not taking any more time away from our focus. So we've just added it in. And over the next month, actually, I was talking to Bailey yesterday, and I was like, oh my gosh, we've got this announcement this month, and then next month, and then this month, and then this month. And honestly, that's kind of the momentum thing, right? We just have some really big things in the works. And it's going to be really awesome as we get onto new platforms and we get more visual, I guess. Like, we're going to be launching more content and just really bring you guys kind of behind the scenes, because Alisa and I and the business, we, like all of our team, we're busy. We do all the things and people don't even see a glimpse of it. And it's really a lost opportunity. And so we're really trying to course correct that. And by bringing on people who can do videos and bring more content, lots of that stuff's going to be hitting the ground pretty fast and hard here. So we're pretty excited for all of that stuff. And you're going to start to see a new social side of the business compared to what we've been doing.
Ironically, they're here. We could probably turn this little computer and put them right on the spot right now.
Yeah.
So we have, say hello to TV land. Gotta turn the other one.
I guess I'm the new video guy for Ashley's marketing team at Epic Alliance. So look for some new videos on YouTube. We're really going to be focusing our development on the YouTube channel, but that said, we're also going to be expanding into TikTok, moving more videos onto Facebook, Instagram, and probably getting into Twitter when we start moving into the new country as well.
And YouTube? I missed it.
That's the big one at the start.
Yeah. And then he did the $100 million video.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
I got giddy when Ashley said it to me. I was like, that literally was the sounds I made. I don't know what just happened. I wasn't involved in that.
That's how we hit 100 million. It was a bit of an explosion, right?
Right?
Yeah.
It was. Absolutely. And no, we appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You guys having me here. I'm excited for what happens next.
Yeah, and you have a little bit of an accent, right?
Yes, that's right. I'm actually from Australia.
Woo! See that? We're going worldwide here, people!
I'm an imported product.
Right?
Awesome. Thank you.
And then many of you met Bailey. Say hi, Bailey. So we're just going to go by you. And then we'll focus.
This is Amiel. She actually, today is her very first day, and so this is her very first experience with us, but she's going to be helping us with some social media management and content creation and content writing. Do you want to say hello?
Hello.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I grew up in Saskatchewan, and I'm excited to be back. I know Greek. I don't. I Greek. I'm learning Greek. But I'm really interested in. I love content creation, which sounds very nerdy, and probably a little bit boring to a lot of people, but.
Not to us. We're super excited.
But no, I do. I love problem solving. I don't like puzzles per se. Like, I don't like sitting and doing puzzles, but like word puzzles and like figuring out how to put all of the pieces together to like make something click. I love doing that kind of stuff. So I'm very excited to see, like, especially as they were talking about, hitting the ground running and like doing more with the social media and all that kind of stuff. I'm very excited to get to be a part of like starting afresh and starting like moving forward.
And making my life easier.
And that's Ashley.
Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. So yeah, as you can see, the team is growing. It's changing every day. Again, if the team isn't used to being thrown into things at last minute,
just going to do it.
It's just happens,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and we have an amazing comment here. I feel like a newscaster today.
Yeah.
We have a awesome comment from Barbara. So incredible women, inspiring. Glad you have an awesome team. Have awesome team members to assist you. And then she's got the acronym for team. Together, everyone achieves more.
I hope somebody wrote that down.
It's right here. So thanks, Barbara. Yeah, and again, without our amazing investors who've believed in us and have joined us on this journey to $1 billion, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So thank you guys for all being here and being supportive of what we have. And it was interesting as I was reading through the comments on the post for the 100 million, and the one person I remember vividly when I first met her, and she's in Saskatoon, she's a paint supplier.
I knew exactly.
The salesperson,
yeah.
whatever
Rep.
company.
She's a rep.
Yes,
Yeah.
a sales rep.
Yeah.
So we had talked to her, and when we first met her, we were like, this is what we're going to do. And right now we're flipping one house, but really the sky's the limit, and we're going to take over Saskatoon and then the world. And then that's just what's going to happen. And she's like, okay. And she was just like loving it, right?
Yeah.
Just soaking it all up. And it was so cool because she's been able to see the whole progression of the journey because she's been there since day one. But we've told that story to a lot of people. We told the same thing to a lot of people, and a lot of people are like, yeah, okay, not sure what they're smoking, but whatever. And again, it's just, there's no room for haterade. I'm like, that's okay. You don't have to support us. You don't have to believe in us.
No.
That's okay. We'll find our own people,
Yeah.
right? But it's been super interesting to see that evolution. And then through the years, run into some of those people we had those exact same conversations with who were just doubters. And, not necessarily they were throwing shade or any hate.
No.
They just didn't believe in the vision, didn't
Because
believe
it
in
was
us.
here. See the little
Totally.
box here? You can't see it, right? We could, but you couldn't, right?
100%.
And I think that's what gets lost in people when they're trying to aim for something, is that they feel that they have to bring it here so everyone else can see it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know that your big, hairy, audacious goal, whatever you want to call it, is here. Sure, you can map out the ones to get to here, but make sure that one is always there. And what's funny? We've never lost sight of that from day one. We have said, there are people that still come up to us jokingly and said, I remember the first conversation I had with you guys, and all you kept saying is we're going to take over Saskatoon and then the world.
Yeah.
Seriously. No, it literally, we're going to have to get t-shirts to say that.
Well, and that was always the goal. And it was funny because people are always like, what's the goal?
Yeah.
We're like, I don't know, take over
Saskatoon
Saskatoon and then the world. Like, what else do you do when you're
Yeah.
aiming for the stars? Like,
Yeah.
what else do you put it into, right?
Yeah.
And so people are like, oh, ha, 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 ha. We're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine, right? But then we really morphed that goal into switching it into the journey to $1 billion. And that came as a natural progression because we actually went back, deciphered the numbers, realized that we had doubled the portfolio of our company ever since we started from day one, flipping, that one house in year 1 to 2 houses in year 2, getting control of the $5 million worth of real estate, going from then the next year to 12 million, 32 million, 64 million. This year, again, the goal is to end at 128 million. We just hit 100. So, we're on track. We're going to have to push for this the next few months here to hit those goals, but we know we will. Why? Because we have, and we can, and we will. And so from there, we're just going to keep doubling. And I mean, really, we're 3 and a little bit years away from controlling $1 billion.
And here's the cool thing. Guess what? Even if we didn't exactly hit that goal, we still, where are we at? Okay, what's that goal? 124 million? 28. What if we hit 124 million? Oh my gosh, we only did 124 million. Oh, really? Really? I'm still pretty excited about that. We still pushed ourselves and we still achieved a crap ton.
100%. Yeah. We have another comment here from Daria. I don't know if that's the right. Says, no questions. You are so inspiring to me. Please continue to do what you are doing. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And we appreciate you following along on the journey. Yeah. And, again, we're just doing what we're doing. And if people get inspired along the way, that's amazing. And we've got some people who, join us on our journey. And we have other people who are building their own empires, which is just as amazing. Some people want to be active. That's totally cool. Yeah. And if, if there's something we can give you little nuggets or whatever to help you.
And again, remember,
something
checking for updates or something.
You're still on.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry, the computer
technology.
It did a thing because I was about to say something really cool, right? No, honestly, I think the biggest thing people need to keep in mind, your empire and what you're building is not the same as what we're building. What you need to ask yourself is, what is it I am truly here to do? What is it I am truly trying to achieve for myself? Okay, there is nothing wrong that if your empire is to be a mom and have 2 kids and raise those beautiful babies until they become amazing adults that function, and that's a big word today, in society well. Yeah. Amen. Good for you. That's incredible. Okay. The key here is your empire, your goal. That is what everybody gets lost in. People will look at us and go, oh, I can never do what you're doing. No one's asking you to do what we're doing. What people are asking you, or what the universe is asking you, what is it that is your empire? What is it that are your goals? Yours. And then once you answer that for yourself, don't let go, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to have crap coming at you from every direction and speed and all the things, and it's going to make it noisy and sometimes hard to remember what those are. But then that's what your challenge is to keep steadfast and aiming for your empire.
Yeah. Hustle, whatever it is that lights you up inside. Figure out what your why is and then just go for it. And again, don't listen to people who are doubting or not on the same wavelength as you. People come and go. Just find your people.
You know, one of the things that helped me a lot, because Rochelle's a rock. She's like super solid. She's like, she knows her boundaries. She knows how, you know, someone's going to step over and it's not going to work, right? For me, I had to kind of play, like, I'm a nurturer. I need to love everyone. And, you know, everybody needs to feel good. You know, they don't. Okay. I had to learn that. Okay. And for me, one of the tools that helped is I literally will get into conversations with people. And sometimes all I have is I envision a mirror, and the mirror is actually facing the person that's talking. Because you know what? When they're throwing their shit at you, it's because that's what they're seeing. They're seeing themselves. Well, how could you go after what you really want? Why? Because they didn't. How could you be this kind of person or do these things? You could be the kind of person you want to be because you aimed for it and you went after it. They didn't. See how when you have that mirror and it's pointed at them, shit don't stick, because they ain't talking to you, they're talking to themselves.
Yeah, so it's really important, again, to have your boundaries. And we all have different opinions. That's okay.
Yes.
But it's one thing if it's conversation or if somebody's actually taking their shit out on you.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's okay to walk away.
Yep.
Because for me, I have a crazy temper. All the team knows that. And so for me, sometimes I'll literally just stop and walk away. And some people are like, what the hell just happened? I'm like, that was the best
amazing
thing that I could have done to save you.
Yeah.
Because if I would have went all Rochelle on you, you would have been crying in fetal position in the corner, and then it gets all dramatic and somebody has to help you. It's whatever. So sometimes I just need to walk away. And so it's knowing how you best work and what your personalities are and stuff like that. So anyway, figure out your stuff and then go about your business. Do your thing.
Yeah, it's so true. So should we hit some of these questions we've got designed?
Sure.
Okay. What goal number do we have planned to hit by the end of the year? Well, we talked about that. That's 128 million.
So it's just doubling the 64 million we ended last year with.
Yeah. So you can keep taking that number and keep doubling it, and then you'll see how we get to $1 billion. So is the 100 million just properties in Saskatoon? No, it's not actually. It's we're already in 2 Saskatchewan cities, and we will also be adding cities in the United States here right away. Yes, I'm excited for that. And then, so that number that we knew that in order, because we knew that we were going to go here, but how do we get there? Because we can't, well, we could own $1 billion worth of real estate just in Saskatoon, but we basically own the city. So anywho, we knew that we would need to spread out the inventory to achieve this goal. Why are we already in another Saskatchewan city? We still are buying 20 houses on average, 25 houses on average in Saskatoon a month. But we knew that when we get to this billion and to get there, we needed to expand. Same reason we're going to the States. That's going to help us get there faster because there's even more inventory, right? We just knew, okay, got to get to $1 billion. How are we going to make this happen? There you go, right? What changed in the way you run your business when you controlled $10 million worth of residential real estate versus $100 million?
Oh, let me count the ways.
Oh, that's an entire another show.
Yeah.
But honestly, the biggest one would be the team.
Yeah.
Like, we can't do this without our team, and it's just facts. Like the mathematical facts. It was funny for a long time. When we started like hiring people didn't really realize it, and they'd be like, I can't believe you guys are doing all of this. We just started laughing. We're going, we're not. We've hired people. So that's why you'll see us a lot of time, because it just became second nature for us to say, we have people for that. We have people for that.
And I say that all the time, and I think some people think I'm really arrogant, and I'm not that person. But I'm just like, that's not my shit.
Yeah.
I have people for that. And people are like, what about your social media? People. What about this? People. What about this? People. And it's just because I stay in my lane.
Yeah.
Right. I know what I'm good at. I know what my roles and responsibilities are, and that's not my shit. And so I'm like, no, I got people for that. And it's not like I'm being egotistical. I'm just stating facts are facts. And if that's part of the team's job, that's on them. I'll delegate it. I'll put you in touch with the right people. But yeah, we got people.
So, and the other one that needs to keep changing as you're growing, and these are scaling up problems. Okay. All businesses go through these growth. They may have certain areas where it hits them harder than other areas, that kind of thing. You know, like I do not like hearing, and we hear this all the time from people. I can't hire anybody good. And it's like, are you freaking kidding me? There's good people everywhere. Pull your head out of your ass.
But why are those people not finding good people?
Because that's all they say.
That's their story.
Every day.
The universe's job is literally to listen to what you're putting out into it and make it happen. So again, FML, any of that stuff that is negativity, and then you wonder why your life's a shit show, but that's all you're spewing out into the universe, and that's your subconscious beliefs. And then all of a sudden you're a train wreck and you can't figure out why you can't life. Well, listen to yourself. Just shut your face and listen to yourself. Yeah. Like, oh my God, your mind's probably spinning. Switch it. Yeah. Switch over to gratitude. Focus on that one fucking good thing that happened in a day. Yeah. Right? Make that the priority.
And it's not easy.
No.
I mean, we've had days where it'd be so much easier to sit down and go, everything sucks. Everything sucks. It's hard. Are you kidding me? Like, literally, we probably have one of those a week where it's like, that's what we should do, but we don't. Right?
And you have that moment, it's like, oh, like Monday I think it was Monday, I don't even know, I'm lost in days, but we had a deal crash and it collided into all this stuff, and it's like, okay, yeah, for that moment, I'm like, okay, I'm pissy, this is what it is, but you pick yourself up and you figure it out, right? Yeah. And again, because we're the ones at the top, we got to figure the shit out, right? Yeah. And it like every day is cray-cray, and that's what I'm talking about, where there's stuff that happens on the daily, and like the stuff that happens to us, like on the daily, is like things that would like potentially cripple somebody for a year in reality, if you thought about it.
And I'm not laughing at people being crippled for a year. I'm laughing because of the concept, like, just, you know, you're a realtor and you're selling 15 houses in a year. I get, you know, that's good. You're busy. And then you come at me and expect me to text you back instantly. And I'm going on something that I know I will get to, but it doesn't need to be addressed right
like
that
level
second,
of priority,
right? Like, and it just those kinds of things. Like, yeah, I did 25 deals this month, right? Like, so it just, again, it just changes and I think that's what's happens with a lot of people. We have a tough time realizing that the life that Michael lives and Bailey lives and Amiel, sorry, I was going to say Embry, Amiel and Ashley live. What they're each experiencing is not the same as what I'm experiencing, or anyone else for that matter.
Which doesn't make it any more or less.
No, but what it does is it puts it in perspective. Okay, remember that when you're like, the whole reason I think people get lost with texting, in that they forget the whole idea of texting was to put a message out there so that the other person could answer it at their leisure to get back to you, not so that they would instantly respond to you.
Yeah, if you need an instant response, you should probably pick up the phone.
Right? That is how it actually works. Okay? And I think that's what's lost in translation with people today. They throw a text out there or a PM and it's like, get back to me. Email, get back to me. Right? And it's like, I will get back to you. but I have systems and I have things I'm working on and I have all the things I'm doing. So you will be gotten back to, but it's going to fall into my categories, right? It's great you've put the info out there. What you've done is left it in the other person's hand to be dealt with, which is perfect because now it's no longer on your plate.
So again, it goes back to communication and figuring out your priorities and your systems.
Yeah.
And again, if you push it over to somebody else. So for example, this morning I had some calls and one of them was, hey, you know what? I really would love to, actually I seeded the idea. It was one of our investors and she was doing a follow-up call. We're rearranging some of her stuff to maximize her return on investments. And that's what we do. And that's what I'm here for. And then she was like, well, I have a friend that I want to introduce you to, which is great. And I said, hey, have you signed up for our affiliate army? And she's like, no, I haven't actually. How would I go about that? I'm like, that's great. I'm going to get Bailey to reach out to you. She'll get you hooked up. We'll do the basic boot camp this weekend, blah, 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 right? So at the end of the day, I didn't say, oh, well, I'll do all these things. I have somebody for that. So I said, I will do the next steps, get you in touch with that person, and then they're going to do that role, right?
And Bailey, what did I do? I did the exact same thing. I had a conversation with someone. Someone about our, oh my gosh, today the English language is not happening. So about our programs and the things that we offer. And I had that exact same conversation. I gave her the background story and I said, Bailey, please reach out to this person. Please carry on from here. If you need me brought in at any moment in time, you have questions or anything, please reach out. Yeah. Right. And you're going to see more and more of that within our company. We don't need to keep repeating the wheel to get it to turn. Right. We can all be a spoke in that wheel and partake to keep it going. It's my phone. It's over there ringing. Just grabbed it, calling and I lifted up. I could see all the faces. Like, what is that sound? There's a bomb. It's not a bomb. It's my phone vibrating.
Yeah, it's like on glass.
Yeah, it was like crawling and I'm like, it's fine. So one more thing about from 10 million versus 100 million systems. That'll be the next biggest one. How do you get your information going from group to group, person to person, your data staying in one place? That is the next biggest scaling up, upscaling, whatever problems that companies or any individual goes through when you're dealing with adding more, right? And we're in it right now. Like that's our biggest, you're going to see it over the next 6 months. That's between the social media and then our system changes, there's going to be changes. There's going to be auto emailers you're going to see coming for systemizing, for asking for information. You're going to see all these things start happening and more frequently that are more routine and that kind of thing. And you're going to see stuff in the background that happen. Well, you won't, but we'll show you that how they're communicating and how it's affecting things to happen faster.
Yeah. And even like right now they're ripping apart the accounting software, the back end side of things. We're designing, you can talk more about that, but it's designing the systems in the back end so that things are going to be able to communicate better. Yeah. In the background. I don't know.
Yeah. So what Rochelle's referring to, more on my side of the things, is we started restructuring our corporate structure so that it'll flow the asset and tax protection and all that stuff better. And also it'll allow us to keep expanding, like Rochelle has stated. We want lots of businesses in the future. We don't know. We may come across somebody and go, you know what, you have an amazing idea, but you suck at this for running this. So how about you work with our expertise because we've been where you are and we'll work with you on this. So we're setting that up so that we can be involved in those kinds of things in the future, right? And then the other thing is we get people asking us all the time, well, what happens if something happens to the two of you? So we're setting up what things are called like board of directors and all of that, CEOs and that kind of thing. That is happening in the background, okay? And then we're turning around and that's how your company, how we will keep going, how E.P.I.C will keep going without us someday, right? Okay, because, right, like this is a thing, right? And then the other thing we're lining up is massive amounts of software. So for example, the property management side, we're working with Building Stacks. And then on the accounting side, we're working with Sage CRE, right? And we spent months researching and trying to figure out what programs will allow us to communicate and do everything. A lot of people go into shock when they realize everything we're doing right now is paper-based. Paper-based, people. So this was a big thing. Okay, we knew in order to get to that billion, it was the next thing. We are at a place where it's got to happen. We're there. It's now being implemented. Our goal is to have everything in place completely with all our software and our computer changes and everything by January 1st. That's a lofty goal, but and you know what? We're aiming for 100 for January 1st, but if we have 80% done, that's still 80% that's running way better than it was before.
Yeah.
I'm going to be happy.
Yeah. And, if the goal was to have it done in 6 months, but it took us a year, oh, well, at least
still got done.
We started it when we started it, and the time's going to pass anyway. So you may as well be as productive as you can be during that timeline. And that was a big capital expense for us as well.
Sure.
So it was a matter of prioritizing the funds and knowing that that was going to catapult us to be more productive, and that was going to save us money over the long haul. But again, that's a lot of money to be investing, tens of thousands of dollars. But at the same time, that's what happens when you have a business. Your expenses get higher as you're growing, your income gets higher, your expenses get higher, and it just really making everything work. If some people knew how much our payroll was every 2 weeks, that, we could buy a new property every 2 weeks just with that payroll alone. Yeah. But at the same time, if we didn't have the payroll to be paying our team, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. So it's
we wouldn't be able to buy the house, because what the hell would we do with it?
Exactly. Right? So you just go do more deals so that you can pay your people, so you can do more things. That's really all it is. So it's just really putting all the systems together and just making sure that, you take in more than you pay out, and and balancing all the things and all that fun stuff. So there's a comment here too, we missed it. Oh. But Tina, you girls are so inspiring. Absolutely love it. Thank you. Again, we do what we do, and if people resonate with it, awesome. If not, no big deal. Always keep scrolling.
Right?
All there.
You control the power. Just shut it off if you don't like it.
Totally.
Folks.
Yeah. It's so funny when trolls get on the page because they're like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, you're going to waste energy on something you're not even behind.
Yeah.
Really, how great is your life?
Yeah.
Not that great. Guessing. Anyway. So what is the key to growing as fast as you have without burning out?
So I can't say this with a straight face. You know what? I'm not going to lie. There's many high achievers you can talk to, and they went through stages of their life where, burnout was definitely a component of something they went through. What are Rochelle and I doing to manage that moving forward and all the things? We're working on our health. I have been getting up. I have been averaging between 50 and 60%. Getting up at 6, and by 6 a.m., I'm on my elliptical. My elliptical is literally positioned at the foot of my bed so that I can't even walk by without going, I should really do this. I should really do this. And, and so these are the kinds of things that we are implementing. And, we're on a commitment that over the next 12 months, self-care is taking a high road and becoming super, super important. Again, we know that we're still an integral part of this company. We always will be until we're literally no longer breathing, basically, right? And we realize the value in that, and we know we have to look after ourselves. Rochelle knows that she needs to get away from here this winter because that's how she stays sane, right? Because she can't handle the cold, right? That is self-care, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. So dealing with burnout, we've had moments. We have our ups and downs. I'm getting better at listening to my body. I have shingles. If I go and go and go and go and go and go and go, I'm going to get a shingles outbreak that I shouldn't be getting. Okay. So I can start, there's warning signs now that I see, okay. You know what? Okay. I need to not think of all these 37 things at once. I'm going to write it all down, and I'm just going to pick one, and I'm thinking about it. Right. It's things like that have helped prevent burnout. It's like, I'm going to, as my brother runs around saying all the time, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So just things like that are super helpful, because I think it's really easy for people, especially visionaries or entrepreneurs, to allow our minds to get racing, and you're 20 steps ahead of one little thing you're working on. So, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. It's just the baby steps, but it's doing the right things at the right time. And, yes, I do plan on eventually buying groceries and cooking at home. Is that a reality anytime soon? No. That's okay. My mom was in town and cooked me like a week's worth
Did you
of
see that
food.
post? I was like drooling because I've eaten her mom's food. We had dill pickle soup that was so good. Like it was.
My mom's the bomb.
Yeah,
so we know.
she's amazing. Yeah.
But again, it's just, you know, we're looking at ordering meals from a meal prep company because maybe that's something I can incorporate, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I've got right now, I'm not saying I got a lot of money, but I can prioritize money more than I can time right now.
Yeah.
Because I have more of one asset than the other.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And it's just figuring out what makes the most sense. And again, you got to figure out what works best for you. So for myself, I was like, I got to get out of my house. I got to switch to a different area. I got to just switch things up a bit. And so I'm in that transition process right now. So I've actually sold my personal house as of next month. And I'm going to be moving out into an E.P.I.C house. And it's interesting because we'll probably do an episode on that actually, because I am actually going to be debt free, but I will own no assets or no properties in my personal name. And some people are like, what? But you're a real estate investor. And we can break into why. And again, what works for one person doesn't work for everybody. So you have to figure out what makes the most sense financially for you based on where you're at. So I think that would be a really cool E.P.I.C hour to really decipher.
And I'm actually about 6-8 months away from the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, we can even break down like what our personal goals are and what our personal, you know, aims are and what it is we're building and why we're doing things a little bit differently than the average person. And it's funny because some people are like, but you don't even own any assets. And I'm like, no, but we don't have to because we control all this without doing that. Right. So again, that'll be another E.P.I.C hour episode we can break into, but it's really exciting times. And to be able to finally have that pivotal flip where, you know, coming into the business, we were both debt free. And then all of a sudden we started the business and we incurred debt to get into the business because nobody's going to lend you money.
We incurred every debt that we could.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
Technology.
Shit happens.
Not a fan.
Let's
not a
see.
fan.
What do you do? Pivot and adapt. All right.
So we got like 15 minutes. We got to rip through a lot of this stuff. But yeah,
Okay.
anyway, so without burning out, I mean, you know what? Honestly, I go with that old adage, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. So again, it's figuring out. So for myself personally, like I don't do well in one location for more than a month. So this is month 7, kind of losing my mind. So I'm going to be actually hitting the road. I'm going to be hitting the road and going to Ontario next week. Next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Sometime in October, coming to a city near you. So we're actually going to come out. I'm going to try and hit up Toronto area, GTA, and Ottawa and Montreal. So we got lots planned. So stay tuned because we'll let you know when we're coming to a city near you. We'd love to see you guys and do as much as we can there. But that's how I'm like, I just need to get away. So I'm trying to get a bunch of deals done and projects started and going and whatever, go away for a couple weeks, come back, be here for a couple more months, and then head up to the States definitely for the new year for sure. So figuring out what works. All right. How do you plan to hit your goal of 1 billion?
Again, we've already covered most of this. It comes down to adding the systems, keeping our team members amazing, and leaning on all of that moving forward. And also our investors.
Totally. Yeah. And, you know, we've got our affiliate army that we've launched. And so we pay those awesome referral fees. So it's getting other people talking, getting on more podcast shows, getting our opportunities out there. Because what we do is not, you know, we didn't invent brand new ideas, but the way we utilize them is new. So it takes some explaining to kind of get all of the logistics across to people. And then once they're in, they're usually like, oh my gosh, best thing since sliced bread. Let's go. So we just want to get people talking about that and sharing the opportunities. So how do you continuously level up your business that might be different from what other real estate investors are doing?
Well, again, we aren't big on comparing ourselves to other real estate investors. And we honestly, you hear us a lot say the word authentic. We stay authentic to who we are and we know what works for us. It's so funny. We try to bring in things that other people are doing and utilizing, and it always crashes and burns. Like it's crazy. It's just like this weird thing that happens. And honestly, I think that's what all of us in this industry are doing that are succeeding is we stay authentic to who we are. We don't go watch somebody and go, I'm going to do exactly what they're doing. Right? Because it's not going to work, right? You can go get inspired by looking and watching someone else on, I want to do something like that, right? That makes sense. But just going and saying, I want to be the next, whatever. No, I want to be Alisa Thompson and the best I can at being a real estate investor, right?
Yeah. And then we have another one. Did anyone ever tell you that you wouldn't hit this milestone or be successful? How do you deal with people who doubt you? We touched on that already.
And we hear it all the time still. We've hit $100 million in real estate control, and we hear people say it all the time.
It won't last.
Yeah.
There's no way they can keep
Yeah.
growing. Whatever. And it's like, you know what, guys, take your haterade, spit it somewhere else. Like,
Yeah.
we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. So really, that's all it comes
we
down
treat haterade like it's chew.
Yeah, it's just again,
It's
it's just, there's no
gone.
room for it, and it's
Yeah.
like we're too busy for that.
Yeah,
So
it's
whatever.
true.
So again, let's compare banknotes in 3 years from now,
Yeah.
and then we'll see who was right.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So anyway, which contributes more to the 100 million? Fund to flip deals or HFLPs? Do you know the answer to this?
They both equally, because we need one. They're in their own ecosystem, and they both help each other.
But what's the number?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the breakout? How many HFLPs do we have for the millions, and how many fund to
Oh, I
flips
don't
do we
know
have?
that. You do.
I do.
Yeah.
Bailey made me a handy dandy chart.
Oh, there you
So
go.
it's actually 44% of our business portfolio right now is fund to flip, and 56% are under the hassle-free landlord program. And it worked out perfectly because it was 100 million. So it's 44 million and 56 million. So
There you go.
Bailey.
Boom.
Thanks, Bailey.
Right.
So
That is
yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah. I knew you were going somewhere because you
I
had that
know.
cashier cat grin from Alice in Wonderland. I'm like, where is she going with this? She's throwing something at me. I don't know.
Kathy says, will the new affordable housing project affect you? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry. I didn't mean to drop it. I don't know what that is. It was a long one.
So there's always affordable housing projects that are being done and all the things. No, there's always a need for rental and all that. And here's the other thing, for people to get in there are regulations and all the things that a lot of those affordable houses, they don't allow pets. We do. So, there's things like that. A lot of times they don't, right? There's different things there. And again, one project doesn't constitute the amount of people. And again, we do rent to people other than just on social services, right? Like we have all kinds of demographics that we rent to.
Mm-hmm. And then we had another comment from Daria. How did you figure out that you were great partners and could build a successful empire together? This, I don't want to delve into too much. There's so many videos about this. Like you can go look at, anybody's podcast that we've talked about the actual story and we break it out. But
I'll have to look. Maybe we didn't do that in our epic hour. Maybe
I thought
that's it.
we did.
Yeah. Okay, well there you go. It's
We'll try to find the episode.
We're trying to get them on YouTube so it's easier for people to watch them, and then you can turn around and find them. And when we cover a question like this, we'll say, hey, go watch episode 3, and it's there.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it really was just, I guess, the opportunity and kind of the universe made it happen. And it's just us being aware and open to taking the next steps.
And me giving her a hard time saying she has to marry me.
Thankfully, she's engaged now, so she can stop with that. I always said
there's a story and a joke behind that.
But I always said, I'm like, you know what? And honestly, we were at the accountant one day, and they like an old, like he was a little old man accountant. He was so funny. He's a great guy, but we've outgrown him since then. But he was like, yeah, your guys' finances are really interconnected. And we were like, yeah. And she's like, I keep on asking her to marry me. And he's like, I would make things a lot less
easier.
complicated. And I was like, you're not helping.
I just knew that how the back end of things work and all the structures and everything. And I'm just like, let's just get married. It doesn't mean we have to do anything. We just get married.
So that's always been the ongoing joke. And I always say, it's not just Alisa. I'll never get married in this lifetime. So
there you go.
It is.
You're a pretty special guy. Change that.
No, it'll never happen. So anyway, same, never having kids, never getting married, not in this lifetime. Maybe come back to the next, whatever.
All right.
Next webinar.
Yeah. Nope.
We did that one.
Oh, sorry.
I switched it on you.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Next webinar, Wednesday, October 7th at 2 p.m. Saski time, which I don't believe there's time change till November 1st. So that's 4 p.m. Eastern, and that'd be 1 p.m. Pacific.
Perfect. And we have a long comment.
Yeah.
Bailey's going to read it.
All right.
Jerry, he says, super congrats to everyone on reaching 100 million. Along the way to your journey to $1 billion, always take time for yourselves. Your personal health, family, and friends are so important along the way. Reminds me of this quote that hits close to home. If you don't take time for your wellness, you'll be forced to make time for your illness.
It's
Good
true.
quote. Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, and again, it's one of those things, we do what we can, and we all have different scenarios. Again, I don't have a significant other, I don't have children, the business is my baby, but at the end of the day, I do have family. My sister and her family, they've got 4 babies, and well, not babies, they're grown, but they're my little babies. And so for me, I'm like, I get to be the awesome auntie, right? And I get to come and go as I please, because that is what I've built. And I'm all about quality over quantity, because for me, it's all about the experiences. And I've got my mom, thankfully, still here, and her husband. So spending time with them is really important to me at the same time, but it goes both ways. They know that the business is my priority, and they respect that. And so again, sometimes I'm like, sorry, I'm working, it is what it is. Or, I actually got to meet, my mom was in town, she had the kids in, they went to the park to play, and I got to meet them and have a picnic in the park, right? Well, because I run my own company, I could do that because I run my own schedule. But most people, if they were stuck at work, they wouldn't have had that opportunity, right? So it's just that ebbs and flows, and making sure that you're doing what you need to do. And Alyssa's situation is completely different than mine, right? So it's figuring out what makes the most sense for where you're at.
I'm blessed. My family just never leaves me. They follow me everywhere. Half of them work for our company. So I'm like, they're everywhere. I'm never lonely.
She was.
There are moments. No, and it's true. Like, my dad works with our company. My mom is a super, super big help, because she drives my 14-year-old son to school every day. And, I know I can lean on her. She's retired, so she enjoys picking him up and having those conversations and spending that time with him. And I do it too sometimes, to vary on my day. But I'm super blessed. I have an amazing 14-year-old who is so independent, and I foster that. My son, for at least 3 years, has run his own schedule. He has Japanese lessons. He's the one that cancels or changes his lesson times if anything's come up. He's the one that makes sure that his grandma knows, don't pick me up on Thursday because we don't have school that morning. He's the one that'll contact his friends and talk to me and say, hey, I have a sleepover I want to do, Mom. Is this day good? And I go, absolutely, buddy. And then he'll reach out to his friends, and then I just talk to any of the moms that have questions. And, and he's been awesome like that. And I love that he's like that, because I know when he goes out in the world, he is going to be able to function and not need to call me for every decision. And don't get me wrong, I love being his mom, but I don't need to be the controller of his life. Yeah, like I just don't. And that's my beliefs, right? And then my fiance, yeah, we work together. And that in itself is probably a book someday, because not only do we work together, but I'm one of the owners of the company, which makes me his boss. So there's moments there. so yeah, I mean, we do take moments for our family. And people will be like, oh, what do you do for downtime and fun time? Honestly, we spend time with our family. That's what our fun time is. That's what our downtime is. Not going to the bar, not going to the things, not whatever. It's like, hey, I'm going to go have supper with my parents. Rochelle's going to go spend time with her niece or her nephew, right? Like, that's what she's going to do. That's her downtime, right? So you fit it in. It just becomes a different slot in your life, right? Like, and we love that.
Yeah. So, yeah, hopefully you guys have gotten something out of this last hour.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Besides more than just laughs.
We appreciate you guys being here. And at the end of the day, we would love to have more topics. If you guys have any options or different things we haven't talked about, we would love suggestions. You can always email them in, or you can send us messages on Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff. But,
and pick a topic, anything. Let us, we'll cover it. And, it can be anything to do with residential housing. It can be anything to do with
business, personal development, whatever you want to know. It's all good. Yeah. So we appreciate your guys' time and fashion. Oh my God. Like, we'll try. We're not kidding. I got all my blazers from Ricky's. This is from Value Village, as well as the top. Guys, I don't do fancy. This is Costco, because it's my price point. So anyway, but we appreciate you guys being here, and we'll see you for next week's episode of the Epic Hour. In the meantime, stay epic.